The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, she's the most trending minister in the Davis administration, perhaps the one with the biggest and most challenging portfolios as well, including BPL. She's also been at the center of a number of scandals, which I will ask her about this evening. JoBeth Colby Davis, Minister of Energy and Transport, is here. Also tonight, the first female CEO of BPL joins me. What made Toni Seymour stand out? And what is her plan to make as smooth as possible the relationship and huge tasks that BPL and its partners have before them, like keeping the power in Eleuthera on? And it appears when it comes to industrial relations, Colby Davis is hitting all the right notes. If you think about it, BPL's unions were missing during the recent strike. Well, I mean, mental health days, because that's what they call them. BEWU President Kyle Wilson is here to talk about where industrial relations stand at BPL. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, JoBeth Colby Davis is seen as a lioness in the Davis administration, fearless and outspoken. She's already launched her 2026 re-election bid in Elizabeth, stating emphatically last week that the PLP will retain the Elizabeth seat with her as its Member of Parliament. As a cabinet minister, Colby Davis has hit a few bumps. Her BPL portfolio is still a work in progress. And what role in aviation does she play? And also her transport portfolio. She and her team have finally gotten the issue of license plates sorted out in the Department of Road Traffic. We get to all that for you this evening. So good evening and welcome to the show. Pull up a chair, call someone, let's get to it. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Minister Colby Davis and Ms. Seymour. It's great to have you both here. Good to see you both as well.
Good evening and thank you for having me, Shanique.
Good evening, it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, first of all, Ms. Seymour, I want to start by congratulating you. This is the first time you've appeared on the show. Congratulations. People have spoken highly about you. They believe in the leadership you can provide and already are providing at BPL simply because you know the company very well.
Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to try my best to make the Bahamian people proud and my colleagues at BPL.
Yes, so let's just start with the upgrade. There's been a lot made about the whole energy reform and the modernization of BPL's aged infrastructure and the plans. Where do those plans stand right now as we are in the beginning of a new year? And Minister Davis, if you can answer that first, and then I want Ms. Seymour to jump in.
So, Shanique, when we came last year to speak to you, I mentioned the state of BPL and where we were in terms of our financial position and also the need for us to upgrade infrastructure and prepare BPL for the demand growth that we're seeing throughout our country, which is completely tied to the number of investments that we're seeing happening and just making sure that our system, our plans, everything is up to date and upgraded in a way that we could supply the power that's needed by our present consumers and also those that were coming on stream. So now we're at the state where we are concluding a lot of our agreements. We presently have 2 of the engines that we brought online working well in our system, providing the needed power, the extra generation of power. We are seeing a lot of our bucket trucks throughout the entire New Providence working on some of the upgrades needed, pulling lines and making sure that we're getting ready for the transformation that we're seeking to see. And so it's been a lot of work internally with our technical team, also with our legal teams to get us to the place where we are now. And this year will be a lot of heavy lifting from on the ground. And so you'll be seeing a lot of more work going into the upgrades and the modernization that we're having at BPL.
So last year, when this was introduced and the work started, it was really just laying the much necessary foundation.
Laying the foundation legally, but also from the technical standpoint, making the plan, putting it together, and then getting it into action. So seeing where the challenges exist, where there's a need to do extreme and immediate maintenance, and making sure the timeline works with some of the projects that we have coming on stream in terms of investments in our country.
So, and we know that there are a lot of investments in the pipeline. Many island economies are booming, and this is the challenge. We'll get to Eleuthera in a moment, but let's just talk about how is this work sort of meted out or spread out. We are not hearing much complaints, and we'll get to that in a little bit in the next segment, but it appears as though the work balance relationship between what Pike is doing, what BPL's employees are doing, it seems to be kind of going a bit smoothly, Ms. Seymour.
So the finalized agreement between Bahamas Grid Company and BPL, that's still in the closing stages, so that agreement has not been fully executed as yet. The Pike employees were on the ground since last summer, assisting us with a lot of the overhead line maintenance that was required to get us through the summer peak. And they've completed a number of projects on BPL's behalf. So as far as the staff being seconded over to BGC, those agreements are still being discussed and finalized. And Minister Colby Davis can speak more to that.
Yeah. So what I also wanted to add in to that is, first and foremost, remember when I came and I spoke to you last year, I made it very clear. One thing is certain. Our people are experienced, they have the technical expertise, they exist at BPL, and it was really for us to get moving in a faster pace than we needed for upgrades to our system and be able to incorporate some financial support with a partnership, right? And so what I took some advice, I would say, from the president of the union was for me to be more open and engaged with his members. So it's not just him and the executive saying this is what the case may be, but for them to have an opportunity to speak directly to the minister and put questions to me and hear for themselves what were some of the challenges and why certain decisions were being made. And so I started last year my listening tours, and it was really for me to go around to various member groups that was organized by the president and the CEO, for me to speak with them, hear from them what some of the challenges are, what some of the concerns were that presently exist with them, for me to also answer questions and provide them more insight as to how we arrived at this position and why some of the decisions were being made. And so as we are now continuing our listening tour, I had an opportunity to speak with some of the members that are going to be immediately affected by the secondment, and that is our transmission and distribution team. Very well versed group of persons at BPL. I enjoyed speaking with them and meeting with them and hearing from them, but also advising them that the opportunity that they're going to see in that secondment is for them to expand on their knowledge and skill development, a training opportunity, and that we still own 100% of the T&D on our family islands, which we're having still some great challenges there. And so even with the skill set that they have now and what they're able to top up with, through the secondment, we'd be able to utilize those skills throughout our family island and make sure that we are preparing even the family islands at the same time for the level of investment that's coming.
Well, that's so good to hear, because we'll get Eleuthera. I hope you all come on this question, because that's coming up in a minute. But Minister, I want to follow up with this one, because while the BPL unions have both been quiet and as though they are sort of watching cautiously, but feeling good about things. I think it was last week the managerial union said, but wait a minute though, we still have a little uncertainty about job security. Where is that coming from?
I think what we have is, like I said, having that meeting and that open line of communication so I could break down and explain. The concern was how would the secondment work, because people are hearing secondment, but what does that mean? So we were able to explain and break down secondment doesn't disenfranchise anyone at present. What they are seeing now in terms of their benefits and their work and the relationship that exists with BPL, they would still have that under that secondment period. It would be an opportunity for them to work fully in the new projects. So our infrastructure projects are phased. It's phase 1, phase 2, because New Providence, if you look around, you have a lot of poles, a lot of wires, a lot of upgrades which will be needed. And so as we phase out, they're going to be experiencing a lot more different challenges, but different learning opportunities. And so the secondment
So there's no need for fear. You're saying,
it's
listen,
really for them
embrace
to
these
embrace
opportunities that are
exactly.
going to become available based on the
Yes,
new work
exactly.
that's up
new
before.
ways to do, the same work that they've been doing, but new ways to do it, seeing and using new technology, upgrading some of the technologies that we've seen in the past that are new now, and ways in which we could cut down the amount or the area size of the outages to streamline it. There are so many different technologies that are presently existing in the energy sector, and they're going to get really a great experience and a great opportunity. And that's really what I am looking forward to. And so we had to make sure that that was clearly explained to our team so that they can have more of an open mind, because I don't want anyone to disenfranchise themselves from any learning opportunity or skill development.
And don't sit on the sideline and wonder about your job, but not stepping up to participate. You all heard that? You heard this tonight, right here first, right? I mean, you heard it before, but all 2025, you hear your job is secure, but run with the advantages and the opportunities ahead. Ms. Seymour, what Eleuthera want to do is be able to know they could run with some kind of power on and their business on, and they could go to school, and then because of the light, the water is impacted, and then the communication. What's happening? Where does the work to bring lasting and real results and in Eleuthera stand?
It's in progress. So we have put in additional generation on the island of Eleuthera, and now our focus is on the transmission and distribution network. So the T&D network in Eleuthera has suffered for many years of neglect, and we have to change out, I would say, over 300 rotten poles. We have to replace and upgrade
And that work is
overhead line.
ongoing.
So yes, we have a roving crew that's based in New Providence of linemen that travel to the various islands wherever they're most needed. So in addition to the roving crew that will be doing work with the local staff in Eleuthera, we're also engaging contractors to come in and help us. So it's all hands on deck at the moment. The residents of Eleuthera can expect some planned outages. It's going to be, it's going to be growing pains.
Everybody vexed to hear that planned. What do you mean
I
flipping planned outages? What do you mean?
So what we do is the week before we send out a schedule of the week to come, and because of the amount of work that's required, we're gonna have to break it up in stages. So there will be planned outages. With every new development, there's always growing pains, and I apologize for the outages that they have been experiencing, and I apologize in advance for the planned outages that they will experience. But what I want the residents of Eleuthera to know is that we understand your pain, and we are working diligently to rectify all of the issues you are facing at this time.
You know what I want to say though, and I row y'all a lot online, so I do. I'll admit to it. But there have been less outages. Not that Eleuthera is any less important, but I've noticed less outages here in New Providence. Is there a reason for that?
So the load is lower now.
Because of the cooler weather?
The cooler weather. October to May is our maintenance period. So all of our engines are currently under routine maintenance. The beginning of the year, is hurricane season prep. So you'll see us on the road doing line clearing, tree trimming, replacing aged poles or damaged insulators and the like. So the slower period when the load is low, that is when our teams hit the ground running and get us prepared for the warmer months to come.
Let's just hope everything in place by the warmer months, because listen, but I want to talk about something else that's very important to consumers. lower electricity bills. And if you all want to throw out a nice little gift, a little something to the people now, who's listening tomorrow night, we can give that out. But the people, there have been a few said, listen, I noticed a little move in the right direction in terms of what I'm paying now each month, but still, obviously, they're still paying too much. What is the update there? Or when can people begin realizing real savings?
Well, we've been working diligently on the energy reform because one of the things that we have to make sure of is that we're not having the line loss that we've seen. Our engines aren't overworked, which means once they're overworked, they're producing more heat and it's costing us more for fuel, but also working in some more affordable fuel, cleaner fuel, and renewables, and working all of those into the mix, then having a properly managed system in terms of your most efficient engines are put out first to generate power, and then you bring on the less efficient later down, and so it's less costly because it's not doing so much heavy work in terms of burning to generate the power that needed. So it's a full-on program that is presently being worked internally at BPL. So we're running more efficiently, more effectively. We're doing proper and on-time maintenance, and we're also making sure that we provide enough information to our consumers so that we can have a partnership, we can collaborate. If you also work internally in your home to begin to manage your usage, it helps us as well. And so we always try to remind you, if you're not in the room, turn the light off, turn the switch off, unplug. And so working together, it's been a list of things that we've been doing to make sure we can continue to see the deduction in the cost of electricity.
So let's get back to you, Ms. Seymour. You are the first female CEO. We've talked about how that is for you, how you feel about that. But this, many have spoken well about you and your capabilities. There is great regard for you coming up through the system, having led various divisions here in the nation over the years. From the vantage point now that you sit in, having done all of that and experienced it, what is most needed now at BPL, even in the midst of the transformation that's taking place?
So in addition to all of the new energy era initiatives that are going on to improve reliability and affordability and sustainability throughout all of the islands of the Bahamas, one of the things that I would like to see happen is a unification, a more cohesive workforce where all of the Family Island employees feel more included. So the initiative for 2025 is the We Are One BPL initiative, and that is to engage more with our Family Island teams and even our power station teams. So for people who work at Clifton Pier Power Station, they always say that they feel like they're stepchildren as well. So it's about cohesiveness, unity, and building morale.
One team, one voice, one vision.
One BPL.
So that one BPL, so that things get done more efficiently and nobody feels left out.
Exactly.
Well, listen, I thank you very much for spending this first segment with me here on the show. I hope that you all are enjoying this and getting some of your questions answered. When we come back, though, we're going to find out exactly what is the secret in terms of improved industrial relations at BPL. And also, listen, the minister ain't gonna be here, and I have to ask her, first of all, is she wearing the watch? I just want to know, is she wearing the Rolex? We're gonna talk about that. We can talk about some other things when we come back. Here on Beyond the Headlines, my special guest, the top tier, the minister, her executive team at BPL, including one of the union presidents. We'll pick up right after this break.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Bahamas, are you ready? 2025! Gigabyte Live Music will present KB. Why you don't know me yet? KB and friends. The Boatman Show.
all you rake and scrape lovers out there, Saturday, February 1st, Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group invites you out to enjoy some Bahamian culture.
With Collect.
KB and Friends in concert, The Boatman Show.
Saturday, February 1st at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Can't wait to see you there.
The legendary KB and Friends. Just added Sweet Emily, plus Tino D, Colin McDonald, Irish Store in the Spank Man, The Falcons, Ancient Man, Mama Dish, Shine 242 and more.
KB and Friends in concert at the Farm, Saturday, February 1st.
Tickets on sale at the Beauty Shack. Both location, General 50, VIP 80. And for the Platinum fans, exclusive skyboxes are available. Gates open at 7 p.m. For more info, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Let's keep the vibe alive.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You know what I say, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do?
What does do?
Check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
On behalf of the entire flight crew and Western Air, we hope that you enjoyed your flight and we look forward to serving you in the near future.
Rejuvenate, refresh, treat yourself. Immerse yourself in total comfort. Pamper yourself. After all, you're worth it. Relax. Rid yourself of all life stresses. At Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa, you will find everything you need to enhance your body and spirit. Call today at 323-6711 and begin your journey to serenity at Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. This evening we have as my special guests the Minister of Energy and Transport. She's also doing some stuff in aviation and, of course, energy. I said that, right? Yes. So she's doing a lot on her plate. And, my God, you have not missed her one day yet, whether it's on social media or anywhere else. People love them some JoBeth Colby Davis, or fascinated with many of the things they say, like the video. We'll get to that video. I think it was Christmas time, looked like the snow. You know, it looked like there was a lot going on, but we'll get to that. We also, of course, have joining us in this segment, the president of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, that is the president of the line staff, the workers at BPL. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Welcome back, Minister Colby Davis. Welcome to you, Kyle Wilson. It's good to see you here.
It's a pleasure to be back, Shanique. It's such a pleasure. Good evening, Bahamas, and shout out to all the fine members of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union.
Kyle, you first of all, you look nice. You dress up. I don't know if you know, because your boss was going to be here and the minister here. He's never worn a, from the time I say, Kyle, it's the evening show, wear your jacket. Never. But Kyle, you look good. Good to see you. Kyle, you seem to truly have a genuine smile on your face. I know recently there was a lot of union. There's still negotiations going on with certain unions and the government. But BPL's unions, outside of saying, listen, are our jobs secure for real? They have been very quiet. What do you put that to versus the last time you were here when you were like, well, Shanique, I too am nervous.
Well, Shanique, it's such a pleasure tonight to be amongst such beautiful, fine Bahamian women. You're talking about the hottest talk show host in yourself. We have the minister, one of the most trending, absolute hardest working ministers from my experience in Jobert Colby Davis, and a leader of extraordinary proportions in terms of Miss Toni Seymour, a great lady. And so I am honored to be here tonight. That's why I'm wearing my jacket.
Oh, that's why you dress up. That's
I'm honored
why.
to be here.
So,
Yes,
Kyle, let's talk about, you had some union concerns.
Yes, ma'am.
I've not, you did not, by the way, Kyle, how you didn't stand up with Obie Ferguson recently at the TUC when he had that, the mental health break days. What is it that made the BEW say, no, we don't need to be a part of that, and we're not going to actually do that?
Well, Shanique, everybody knows my relationship with Mr. Ferguson. My union is a dues-paying member of the TUC, and I'm a vocal member of it. But in this instance, when you have great leadership, and first of all, let me thank the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, and Minister Colby for the decision they have made in placing Ms. Seymour as the CEO of BPL. And from day one, I've been working with both the Minister and Ms. Seymour in terms of industrial issues. And I'm not saying everything is perfect and all is well, but the minister has given me an open door. When I can't get the necessary satisfaction in BPL, she says, come, speak with me. Let me see if I can make a determination. But I don't even have to get that far because the CEO said, Kyle, my door is open to you at all times. Come in. Maybe I may be in a meeting. You may have to wait. But it is open. And as long as you're willing to wait, I will see you and we will come to a resolution on the issue.
So it is this CEO that's really making a difference in industrial relations on that level? Because I know you had issues with the last one.
Well,
who didn't give you the time of the day?
Well, both the minister and the CEO. I mean, I feel blessed in this season to have two persons who are willing to engage in proper industrial relations. Shanique, when we talk about industrial relations, right, we're talking about the tripartite system where you have government, employer, and union, right? And so right now, we have a government that is showing, as far as BPL is concerned, that they care about the union and our issues. We have a leader who seems to be caring and who's showing care for the workers. And so no reason for me not to fall in line. It's hard to walk away from a table where they are working with you. They just made a recent decision in Ms. Daphne Simmons being brought in as the Director of Human Resources. She's doing a marvelous job, as well as the Human Resource team. In all honesty, in respect for what they're doing at BPL, there's no disrespect in no which way to the labor movement, but it's showing respect to proper industrial relations at BPL.
Wow, okay, now you mentioned that there are one or two things that can be ironed out. What are one of those two things?
Well, Shanique, a lot of members, right, as you'd have known, last year there were some differences in terms of how the union felt as how things were moving forward. A lot of those are being ironed out. The minister has said, you know what, Kyle, I understand the fears and concerns of the workers, and you know what, I'm not going to just leave it up to you as the president. I'm going to join you. We're going to speak to the membership together. Let's get the CEO, and we're going to stand in front of them. And I'm going to let you sit aside, and I'm going to let the members confront me direct and ask the questions. With the CEO there, so no one could run, no one could duck, no one could hide. Everyone is right there playing in the open. Whatever questions they ask, if they want to get confrontational, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to let them have their way. And she has been doing that. Not just here in Nassau, Shanique, but we've also traveled to many of the family islands where she's explained to them.
Did she address, remember when I think the people in Andros had their office under a tree, a tamarind tree, and some little crates they were sitting on, and that was the office? Did she address that? Immediately,
and they brought in a trailer, and they set up everything, and they are in far better conditions. It's still a work in progress. I'm not saying, oh, it's all perfect, the magic wand has been waved and everything poof gone, no. But they are dedicated day by day to seeing the issues resolved. I'm in the Human Resource Department almost every day, and I can always tell you, I always walk out with some success towards a member or an issue. And when I don't get a success there, I go to the minister's office, I hang my head down, I play sad, and I say, Minister, you have to help me out. And you know what? I guess sometimes she bites and she assists me. But I'd just like to thank her for being open with me and hardworking. You know, part of the issue is, and in all honesty, Apostle Dr. Nelson Strawn confronted me and he said, Kyle, how did you allow hate to intercept your love? He said, you and the minister were working great together. What happened? He said, you know what? You just went straight off the handle and you didn't give her the opportunity because she gave you that open door. If you had issues with the deal, if you had concerns, Why didn't you go and say it to her instead of just going on a media blitz? And so he made me to sit and apologize, and both the minister and I apologized where we would have went wrong, and we have decided and we have dedicated ourselves to work together in the best interest of not just the union, but the Bahamian people. So what more can I ask as a union leader when I have a minister who says, Kyle, I am dedicated to working with you. I have a CEO who says, who's been dedicated to working with me. I mean, what more can I ask as a union leader?
Minister Colby Davis, it really seems as though you have struck a wonderful balance in the industrial relations, because if you remember, even before you became minister, Kyle, I used to have to run Kyle from the show, because Kyle had a complaint almost every other week about something that was going on and how he and the workers of BPL were being treated.
Shanique, I'll tell you, being in government has been such a big learning curve for me. A tremendous learning curve about the public service and also working with unions. So I admit that this was the first time in my career, while I come from the energy sector, while I know the intricacies and the challenges that exist, I did not know the union side of those challenges. And so both Kyle and I had to learn each other and understand each other's position and give each other the necessary respect so that we can provide the relevant solutions that were needed. And so in the middle, because in the beginning we were doing really well with working together, and then in the middle there became a little bit of tension. And we had to sit back, pull back, and try to agree, wait, I'm pushing and fighting for the benefit of Bahamian people and the public at large to lower the cost of electricity, to bring reliability. But then Kyle has a responsibility, and so does the senior union. They have a responsibility to their members. And so making sure that I understand that there is a responsibility for them to answer to their members, so that I provide them that comfort, that open door communication for them to be able to have those answers. And where there are confusions, we try to come to some understanding of how we could get this message across. And so that's why the listening tour has become a great hit for both of us within BPL, because when he's not able to give them the one set answer that they're looking for, bringing the minister and me being able to lay out the dynamics of the situation and explain to them, and then give them some timelines that they can look forward to, and advise that I will come back when there are some things that are being answered. That was able to help our communication and strengthen our working relationship, and Kyle made it clear that he wanted to work collaboratively together. I will tell you though, he is relentless in his representations. I don't want anyone to think that I'm on some easy road when it comes to the union. I am not. So my heart still skips a beat when I see a missed call or a WhatsApp message, and I'm afraid to open it because I'm like, oh God, this is the trying time. Now I still have those little butterflies in my stomach, because it's still a thin line when it comes to working with the unions, because at the end of the day, they have to satisfy their members. It is their duty to work on behalf of their members and to provide their members with the truth, with transparency. And so we're working together. We've been doing a good enough job, and we know that some challenges are ahead, but how we iron out and respond to those challenges is what brings the faster solution for the members.
Well, Kyle, congratulations to you as well for striking that balance to be able to do what you've been elected to do, really, and that is to get your members the benefits, the answers to questions, and the best working conditions that they need. We're going to shift gears now, and I want to play this video and then get the minister to explain it.
Outfits from Fashion Nova, boots from UGG, earrings from Louis Vuitton, glasses from Tiffany's, watch from Rolex, ring from Mame, bracelet from Cartier, gloves from I don't know, and napkin for when your nose gets.
Boy, I tell you, they look nice. I wonder where I could. Minister, I'll tell you this though, that video went viral. And it went viral not because you look cute and because it looks like you in the snow and you're having a good time. People say, what the dickens? Like she should have been flaunting and flossing like that. How do you respond to what has become, and not just in the Bahamas, anywhere where we build you up in a minute and we applaud you 1 second for that, and then the next second we say, is she tone deaf?
Yeah, so firstly, Shanique, the video, it was so unfortunate in the way in which it came off. And I do apologize for those who may have taken it in the way in which, with the caption that went along with it, to give such a bad connotation, because it was never intended, first of all, to make anyone feel some certain type of way. It was a family gathering. It was a special Christmas for us. One where we were first Christmas with all of me and my sisters and nieces and nephews and mom together, because it was the first one that we're celebrating without my dad. And so my nieces, when they see me, they see auntie. This is what they get. They get that relaxed auntie feeling, and they get the joy of having me participate in all of these crazy teenage things that teenage kids are doing on TikTok and wherever else. I'm not on TikTok, by the way. I always try to give off this, I'm serious, I'm about my business impression. So I was even more upset that side of me that I show in those private settings with my family was exposed. But my niece, they're young, they live in the States, and this is the TikTok thing, and she had us doing all type of challenges, and it got into the wrong hand and went with the wrong message. And it's unfortunate because that is not what the intention was. I called her and I said, Destiny, did you put the video up? She said, yes, Auntie. I said, Auntie, Auntie's in politics and
a public figure.
It's a public figure, and we were having fun, and I know you're so proud of your auntie who's a politician, but proud to see me just kick back with you as a family. But it's not in the right vein, and so can you just remove it? And
you had it removed.
She felt so sad, but I just wanted to make sure that she understood that I love her. I appreciate her. I had amazing Christmas with them, and they make me so proud, and I'm so happy when I'm able to just kick back and let them get that joyful, playful, fun auntie. But definitely for the Bahamian public, it was never the intention with that to come out and be spread widely. And
as though you are tone deaf.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate, but I know that my work is what speaks for me. I've been working in my community. I have been making sure that I'm a listening ear, a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to cry on, making sure that my team has been clear of where we can help. We continue to help the Bahamian people, whether it be in my constituency or anywhere else in the Bahamas. If I can give help or help someone, I'm there, and that's the person who I am. And so I'm thankful that God has given me the opportunity to serve, and that I've served in the truest form that I can. And so my actions will outshine any bad caption that anyone tries to put.
Well, I'm not sure how loud your team, I'm speaking now as a member of parliament, your team is speaking out there. Because last week, as we did Week in Review, and we saw that you had a constituency meeting last week, we heard you speak very energetic, very just immobilizing the troops and the supporters. I was quite surprised, but I guess maybe I shouldn't phrase it that way. What I'm saying is, it was said during that time, and I think you may have seen the video, that JoBeth Colby Davis is battle ready, and she's been doing an amazing job in Elizabeth. Perhaps as we wrap up this segment, you can talk to some of what you've been doing, because I don't know if it's been out there.
Okay, so I don't know if you recall, Shanique, but one of the first meetings I've had with you, you invited me when I was a senator, and I believe you had Dr. Sands on as well. That seat has always been a heavily watched seat, and you spoke to us about some of the things.
I had the two of you on?
Yes, you did. I don't know if we were on the same time, but we were on the same show. That was a long time ago.
The way she could embarrass me, did I forget that?
Yeah, and what happened on that show, though, you allowed him to speak to what he did in Elizabeth, and I spoke to what they were asking for.
Yeah.
And so I framed my response as a representative as based on what I call it, when I went around to every door, I called it my interview, right? And I got selected for the job. So when I went knocking on the door, I was interviewing. And they gave me the job. And in giving me the job, I was consistent. They asked for office to be open with real people in the office, not just throwing someone in an office and saying, hey, I have a constituency. I have 3 well-versed women working in my office. We do our constituency cleanup. We work throughout the constituency to have events as often as we can, make sure that our events are showcasing the talent in Elizabeth. So we have a lot of small businesses. So what we do is an entrepreneur set up at each event, back to school and Christmas, where our entrepreneurs can sell their products. They don't just sell it though. We create Lizzie Bucks. So we have our own Monopoly money at our events called Lizzie Bucks. And everyone gets about $35 to shop with. And their $35, whatever amount the vendors are able to redeem that amount. If they made $500, if they made $1,000, we print the amount of Lizzie Bucks that we got in donations to pay back to our vendors. So our vendors are bound to make money at each event. We do our voucher program. So every 3 months, when that constituency allowance comes in, I top up my voucher program. Everyone has come hip to it now. So they go to the office, they sign up, and they know once that voucher is topped up, they're going to get their phone call. We do our sick and shut-in visits. We have a nurse in the constituency that goes around. She does pressure checks. She checks on, she has a list that she go to. And every time we meet more of our seniors, we add them to the list. Nurse Smith, thank you so much for always working with us.
So you have a thriving senior movement.
Yes, we have a health fair. We feed our seniors every Thanksgiving. I grew up partly in the U.S., and so Thanksgiving is within me. And I thought it's special to spend that time to say hello and send love to our seniors and tell them thank you. We've been working in Elizabeth non-stop and connecting. We have our blast, so we keep our community informed of job posting, of anything that's happening. And I stay connected on the ground. I love my constituents. They've been with me from day one. I've been with them, and I'm always going to be with them, and they've made me proud to be their representative. Elizabeth is on the map. We stand out. We're the best, and I love you.
Well, I tell you, I heard it last week, and now I'm hearing it from you firsthand about the work you've been doing in Elizabeth constituency. Kyle, you have 10 seconds. 10. I mean, absolutely 10 seconds.
Well, you know, I always have to come my scripture, which is Jeremiah 1:19.
Yes,
says, they shall fight against thee, but they will not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, says the Lord, to deliver me. And I truly believe that God is with us.
We all grab hold of that scripture right there. Kyle, listen, thank you very much, Kyle Wilson, President of the BEWU. Of course, Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis, Minister of Energy, Transport. We didn't talk, but she does a whole lot on her plate, as you all heard. I hope you all got some answers from her. Certainly, of course, we look forward to having her again.
You gotta come back.
You must come back. You must. You absolutely must. Until then, of course, thank you very much for stopping by. And of course, to the CEO of BPL, Tony Seymour, thank you as well. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to toss about some just opinions about what you all heard this evening. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Bahamas, are you ready? 2025. Keep the Bible Live Music Group present KB. Why you don't know me yet?
It's KB.
KB and Friends. The Boatman Show.
All all you Rankin Scrape lovers out there, Saturday, February 1st, Keep the Bible Live Music Group invites you out to enjoy some Bahamian culture.
With Collect.
KB and Friends in concert, The Boatman Show.
Saturday, February 1st at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Can't wait to see you there.
The legendary KB and Friends. John Sodden, Sweet Emily, plus Gino D, Colin McDonald, Irish Store in the Spank Band, The Falcons, Ancient Man, Mama D, Shine 242 and more.
KB and Friends in concert at the Farm, Saturday, February 1st.
Tickets on sale at the Beauty Shack. Both locations. General 50, VIP 80. And for the Platinum fans, exclusive skyboxes are available. Gates open at 7 p.m. For more info, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Let's keep the vibe alive.
This new year, EV Motors is starting the year off strong with incredible savings on brand new electric vehicles. Charge into the new year with zero emissions and endless savings during our New Year clearance sale, where you can drive into 2025 with one of our brand new EVs at discounted prices. And that's not all. Take advantage of a special financing offer with CIBC Caribbean with a 4.5% interest rate and up to 10 years to repay. But hurry, the clock's ticking, and these deals won't last long. With our diverse selection, there's an EV here for everyone. Get the BYD Seagull Plus for as low as $258.43 per month. The Toyota BZ4X for as low as $512.91 per month. The BYD One Plus for as low as $392.79 per month. The BYD Song Plus for as low as $518 per month. The BYD Tank Plus for as low as $725.46 per month. The Mercedes-Benz for as low as $725.46 per month. The BMW iX3 for as low as $725.46 per month. The Carry Cargo Van for as low as $351.33 per month. And the Carry Elephant X7 truck for as low as $393.72 per month. Enjoy unbeatable clearance prices with our New Year clearance sale. Terms and conditions apply. Prices are VAT exclusive. It's the EV Motors New Year clearance sale. Call or visit us today to secure your brand new EV.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, we have a few minutes left with you on the show. So what do y'all thought? What y'all thought about Minister JoBeth Colby Davis? I tell you, I call her the lioness. I think she was shocked at that one. I'm like, she's the lioness in the Davis administration. But she is, right? She's outspoken. She does a lot. And she's been through a lot. Well, I'm going to hear exactly what the Hot Topics panel has to say. Leslie Miller is here. Ellington Ferguson is here. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Certainly it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Gentlemen, you've heard that, Colby Davis, obviously just jumping into the biggest area of her portfolio or her various ministries, BPL, that responsibility. They gave her and her CEO gave updates about where it is, where it's at, the fact that this is heavy lifting and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, but there has been, minimal improvements, whether it's Eleuthera, and certainly we've seen a lot here because there are less outages. But your thoughts about where where it is and what the vision is to keep moving BPL forward while creating this seamless work environment?
Well, Shanique, the Minister of Energy, Minister Davis, Jobel Kobe Davis, I'm not sure what it was when Mr. Davis chose her to put her in charge of that. Obviously, there are some things that he knows about her, and she's taken on. Never one day I've heard her crying and whining about the critics and the criticism that she received. I must give it to her. She take her critics head on and she do what she had to do. Like I said sometime earlier, the reform has been praised internationally. The results are still out, and we gotta wait to see what the fruits are produced. There are some things happening. We see some things happening here on the ground in New Providence, albeit not sufficiently taking place at least to the speed or not even visible in Eleuthera, which really has been going through a turmoil with energy and water. But yes, Colby Davis has been doing her job, and she's really strategic within the Davis administration. She's bold. She's yet still confident in the midst of all that she's had to endure. And so, like I told you, that's one of the persons that I think, as it relates to election, is battle ready. And she's continued working in her constituency.
You actually did say that last week, and I'll tell you, when I asked her about winding down this interview this evening, I asked her about, well, listen, let's just talk a little bit about what you, first of all, about that comment and what you've done in Elizabeth. You know, she readily gave information.
Absolutely, yes, and she's fluent with it. She's bold. She's very courageous, and it remains to be seen when the BPL bear fruits. And the Bahamian people can really say, well, hey, I can see a difference in my light bill, which I've heard some people saying. I have no real proof of it, but I've heard people saying that, yes, they have seen a reduction in their energy costs. And so energy is going to be crucial to the Davis administration going forward for the rest of 2026 and into the election year going forward.
You know, Ms. Kobe has taken on the task of trying to get BPL in the right position to enable the Bahamian people to accrue some savings on light bill. That's the number one cost of living in the Bahamas right now today, even with the food stores, wherever you go.
That's right, energy, yeah.
And they have brought the cost down. I was shocked when I went to some of the areas Dave and I over the weekend. We went to Big Pond, and the cost of dictionary has gone down tremendously. But what you all have done so far, I want to congratulate the new CEO for doing a wonderful job.
Also, people
a lady
have
that we were bringing in from Freeport ourselves before we left.
Leslie said he had plans to bring you in.
No, she knows that. Very smart lady. Just finished a course at Harvard University, one of the most prestigious schools in the world. They're putting BPL on the right track. And I got to congratulate the president of the union, Kyle, who's done a wonderful job in working together. You know, we sort of had a good relationship while I was there as chairman. I had my fights with Maynard, Paul, but we were friends and we remained friends. Because my view has always been and always is that the people of the Bahamas are who? The real owners of BPL, eh? Not the people who run BPL.
Absolutely.
But the people of the Bahamas is a public entity. And when you hear the word public, it means the people. And you just want to do what is right for the people. They've done a tremendous job. I must congratulate the minister for holding up as well as she has held up. Because as a woman, she's been under tremendous pressure.
She's been squeezed.
I've never heard her whine or complain or cry about her.
We have been in that area for the last few weeks.
What are you hearing here, Leslie? So what are you hearing? Because I know what she said.
She is as strong as ever, and she will not be beaten. No one can beat in that area. She's going to win again. I guarantee that. You know, she's done a wonderful job, and she continues to do well. There's controversy, but she takes it on head on.
Well, speaking of controversy, Leslie and Ellington, I asked her about, you know, the hey, spot me, you know, that video that went viral, the one where she was talking about, and she explained it was with her nieces and all that stuff. But the thing is, I want to say, did it come off as tone deaf or just people trying to paint a narrative?
I think in light of it and her being in government, in light of her holding such a strategic position in what she's dealing with BPL. Anything if she have breakfast at McDonald's today, it's going to be a critic for or against that. If she go in Atlantis, it's going to be some issues. So it's up to her that is
control
totally up to her.
her,
Like she said, that was something between her and her family members, and she just wanted to do it. It's up to her. Obviously, she demonstrated a woman that these things roll off of her like water on a duck's back, and she's able to weather these storms. And so people will do, in the position that she's in, whatever she do, she will draw attention. And that's unfortunate in a lot of ways sometimes. In politics, I've seen a lot of stuff where people go directly at your family. I think people should be more guided and more, relaxed as to relate to going after people's family. And this is why a lot of good Bahamians stays away from politics, because your family, what your family have to go through is crazy in this country, and we need to step our politics up above that. People's family shouldn't have to go through all of these ritual that we throw against them. Let's deal with people on the position that they hold, on the job that they do, and you're not doing a good job or you're doing a good job. Don't bring all their family and their personal stuff into it. And so, like she explained, time with her family, they gave her gifts and stuff like that. Hey, if not, why not? Minister Colby Davis is not a politician that just come into politics and begin to get some money. She's a well-accomplished attorney. She have had a very illustrious, decent career prior to coming into politics, and she have done well for herself. And so they're enjoying the goodness of her labor. Fine, I don't have a problem with that.
I think we need to appreciate that some Bahamians are critical of you waking up in the morning. They call each other, this fella wake up again. They can't help themselves.
Well, that's true.
They just can't help it. I always say, those who can,
boy, you better learn to speak over yourself.
And those who can't, criticize. They can't help it. I always say that's negative, but I don't want to talk bad with them today. But, they just can't help themselves, And I just brush it off, and she's strong enough to brush it off. I give it the name Chucky when I first met her during the election campaign, when she took on the gentleman there, the chairman of the F&M. In an interview, she was as tough as nails.
She told me I interviewed them
tough.
Before, the two of them, and I had no, I didn't, I just remembered,
And she just take you on head, she does her job, She loves her constituents, they love her. I was surprised that when we went into some of the highest sophisticated areas, for example, Yamacraw Shores, here of upper class Bahamians, most of the women there love her, most of them, and the men, because of her toughness, of her stand that she takes, and she takes the blows. And that's what a good politician does. You just tell it the way it is. You're always frank with them. If you can help them, she will help you. If she can't, she says, I can see what I can do. And that's the end of the story. But, people criticize her, but I think she's born to storm well. And she's ready now for what's going to come next year. The rest got to step up to the plate too and do what you got to do. Serve your constituents, show them love, show them affection.
Absolutely.
And get the job done, and they got to keep in. If you don't, you're going to be gone.
Gentlemen, in the news as well today, as we shift from tonight's major topic, Kalani and the F&M is speaking out. Kalani is in the news today of saying, and it's so funny because we talked about who was battle ready last week. Well, Kalani saying, which y'all say, but y'all ain't giving Dr. Minnis what? What you think about that, guys? In terms of how this is shaping up, how that row and that race in Kalani for the F&M is shaping up?
Well, the Free National Movement has its share, just like the Progressive Liberal Party, of internal fightings. It appears that Pintard think he needs more wars or more fires. Kalani is not one that he should try to fight. I think he got a lot of work within the Free National Movement to try to deal with, to pull the party together, to get all of his members together on one accord, rather than trying to go after fighting, creating a new war with another member who is basically solid in the constituency. I tell people all the time, Kalani is more Hubert Minnis than they are F&M. Okay, whatever Hubert Minnis is, that's what Kalani is. And you don't need to create that fight. That's a member you got secure. I know things hasn't been as rosy with the present leader and the former leader, but kind of work things out, go through this election cycle. Maybe later on down, you can have this conversation. Hey man, I want to move on. We want to bring some younger, fresh blood. But right now, that is not a challenge that you need, because Kalani is firm with Hubert Alexander Minnis. Hubert Alexander Minnis is saying that he's going to run in the next general election. He said a statement, he said that the people already showed, they know who they want. And if the people know who they want, this is not the fight to go after right now.
You know, it is very, very disgraceful and belittling that a former prime minister who elevated the current leader of the opposition to the status that he held as a cabinet minister just less than 4 short years ago is now struggling to retain his seat. It shows you the level of wickedness in politics in our country and the degradation that one goes through. Think about this man was the prime minister, and today he's hustling to try to get a nomination. Hey, think of that, man. You know how disgraceful that is?
It is.
That the guy who I put in place, who I helped elevate in my cabinet, is now telling me I can't run? What the hell is going on? And he's going to run, I hope, and I believe he'll win. But before, I told you all before, between now and August, the current leader of the FNM will be gone. Someone's going to replace him. I keep telling you, what is going to happen.
Ellington?
And I think, Shanique, this probably plays into the insecurity that Michael Pintard is experiencing and feeling.
He will be gone.
And so that's why all semblance of what Leslie is saying, he's trying to get rid of.
He will be gone.
Like former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, if that faction or he feel like that is a threat that's going to cause him to be removed, he's trying to get rid of it. And he figure if getting rid of the head, the whole body is gone. So it's interesting to see how it plays out. But yes, he's having some other, like I said earlier, he is having some other issues that he should deal with. Try unifying the party, bring the party together, get the party battle ready, and leave Dr. Minnis alone. You don't need to be fighting with Dr. Minnis right now.
You know, we have much more to talk about when it comes to that. Certainly, of course, I hope to maybe, if I can, if you all know someone from Killarney, that they can come and speak with us here on Beyond the Headlines. That'll be a wonderful thing. Make that happen for tomorrow night. That'll be good. But listen, I thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. I thank Leslie Miller, Ellington Ferguson, of course, my guests, absolutely, the Minister of Energy, and all the rest of it. Of course, the CEO of BPL, the President of the BEWU, and of course, the Hot Topics panel right here, Beyond the Headlines contributors. Thank you. And thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And I'm looking forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.